Welcome, everyone. My name is Brent Moore. I'm the president of the State Bar this year, and it's my pleasure to be here to honor these recipients and our other 25-year recipients. But before we get into that, I wanted to give you a little bit of background, some opening remarks, so you can get some context for the State Bar. The thing that I would note for you as of this year, the State Bar is 130 years old. It started in 1886 in Santa Fe. There were 19 original members up in Santa Fe, and this is well before statehood, and our Bar Association started on its path those many years ago. The one thing I would note, and Joe wanted me to point this out, is that the State Bar is actually older than the University of New Mexico. University of New Mexico is 127 years old, so we've been around quite a long time, and we're very happy to be here and host this celebration of your fine legal careers. Today we are honored to have with us Justice Ed Chavez from the Supreme Court, and he's going to do the presentations to our 50-year recipients. And with that, I'd invite him up onto the stage and have him do the honors.
Good afternoon. I sincerely appreciated the invitation to come here and celebrate this momentous occasion for some of our esteemed colleagues. I was sent information about each one of them, and I think we're going to be here till 7 if I read all of their accomplishments. I was also interested in learning that the State Bar is celebrating its 130th birthday. To be perfectly honest, I have been practicing law for 35 years. I've been on the court for 13 years, and I've only been actively involved with the State Bar for those 13 years. Before that, I never found time to be involved in the State Bar, and I regret that because what I have learned, once I learned that I had the responsibility of some oversight of the State Bar organization itself, I discovered that it is an organization that genuinely cares about the legal community and about the judiciary in New Mexico, and they go out of their way to make a meaningful difference in the lives of all of the practitioners who need help either just navigating the system to become a lawyer or who encounter difficulties in the practice of law. They can always count on the State Bar to be there to help them, and that has been meaningful to me. The other thing they've done is they help the court out tremendously, and they've been really good ambassadors for the state of New Mexico. Put on a science school for judges from throughout the United States, and the State Bar stepped up to the plate, and they organized it, helped organize it. They provided some books regarding the history of our great state. Since we were working with both national laboratories, it was quite a program, and if it were not for the State Bar's interest in making a difference here in New Mexico, it would not have been successful. So with that, I want to wish the State Bar a happy 130th birthday. Our first recipient today of 50 years of service is Mark Adams. Mr. Adams, I want to tell people about you. He's a Harvard graduate, both Harvard College and Harvard Law School. Graduated in 1966 from Harvard Law School. He works at the Rody Law Firm. He practices in the business department in the areas of natural resources, water, and corporate law. And he heads the firm's environmental, natural resources, water, and utilities practice group. He's listed in the best lawyers in America under a number of categories: corporate law, energy law, environmental law, mining law, Native American law, natural resources law, oil and gas law, and water law. He's named the Santa Fe Mining Lawyer of the Year 2013 by Best Lawyers in America. He's in the Chambers USA, America's leading lawyers for business and environment, natural resources and regulated industries law, and water supply litigation. He's a Southwest super lawyer in energy and natural resources. He's written books. He's a co-author of the New Mexico Environmental Law Handbook. He also wrote The Unitization of Solid Mineral Properties for the Rocky Mountain Mineral Law Institute and Minimum Work Clauses and Mining Leases for the Rocky Mountain Mineral Law Institute. So as you can see, he's had a very accomplished career as an attorney. I would invite you up, Mr. Adams, to make some remarks if you'd like.
was interested to hear that New Mexico had 19 lawyers in the first bar, because for some reason, I have state bar number 13. Whenever I attend a CLE, I get a call about a week later from the sponsor saying, I hope you enjoyed the CLE, and I said, yes, I loved it. And then they say, we want to be sure you get credit from the state bar for having taken the course, but we noticed you have number 13. What's the rest of the number? And I always say, that's the complete number. I was one of Billy the Kid's first defense lawyers. And I can hear the mental wheels spinning. When did Billy the Kid die? Is he really that old? And then if I'm feeling kind, I set him straight, and if I'm feeling ornery, I don't. So it's nice to be number 13. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
The next accomplished lawyer in New Mexico who has been practicing for 50 years is Turner Branch. And with your permission, Mr. Branch, I'm going to abbreviate all of your accomplishments, otherwise we will be here until 7. He graduated from Baylor Law School in 1965, and he's also been quite a patriot. He served in the United States Marine Corps as a second lieutenant and as a first lieutenant. He began his practice in the state of New Mexico, but he's also a member of the Colorado, Texas, and District of Columbia bars, and he is known to brag about New Mexico being the best state bar in the United States. I added that. He's also elected as a fellow in the International Academy of Trial Lawyers. That's an organization that you can only be invited to, and there are only 500 lawyers in the world that belong to the International Academy of Trial Lawyers, and he's elected, and he's also served as a board of director for the International Academy. He's a lifetime member of the Association of Trial Lawyers of America. He's been the New Mexico representative for the association for 12 years. He is a former trustee for the National College of Advocacy, a diplomat in the American Board of Trial Advocates, the National Board of Directors of the American Board of Trial Advocates, former president of ABOTA, a very accomplished organization, also by invitation only. He has served on the Board of Governors for the Western Trial Lawyer Association, and as near as I can tell, any trial lawyer association Turner's been involved with. His specialty has been civil litigation, and he's represented the state of New Mexico against the tobacco industry. He's also published 7 articles in a book, and has received a number of recognitions, including Southwest Super Lawyer, the top 5% in New Mexico. He's selected to top plaintiff's lawyer in America by Law Dragon, and he's also worked in the legislature. So, Mr. Branch, you've honored the state of New Mexico by all of your contributions, and we would like to honor you today with a certificate acknowledging your 50 years.
Thank you for being here. I want to congratulate my colleagues who have also been members 50 years, and welcome to our new club, I guess. 50 years membership. I want to take a minute and thank my wife, who is a lawyer, for being very supportive and of me, putting up with me for as long as she has, and she's also, as I said, a lawyer. My son and daughter-in-law, who are lawyers. My daughter and son-in-law, who are also are lawyers, and they have also had to put up with me. So we try not to talk about law at all times when we meet, have family gatherings, but we end up talking about law usually, and or finally, and that's kind of the way it's been all our lives. But I am very proud to have been a member of the New Mexico Bar for 50 years. I want to thank all of you for being here, and congratulations not only to my colleagues, but for the 25-year recipients, too. Congratulations to each of you. Thank you very much.
The next lawyer that we will recognize today is Lester Kinane. He has a BS from Utica College, Syracuse University in 1963. Graduated from George Washington School of Law with a master's LM in Government Contract Procurement Law in 1973. He was drafted to the Vietnam War and then later enlisted in the Air Force, worked in the Air Force for 20 years, for which he was a captain. He served as a trial attorney for the United States Air Force. He moved to Albuquerque to start practicing law in 1986, and he is a general practitioner here in New Mexico. Mr. Kinane.
I'm humbled to be here with these distinguished men. I have a long script. I saw that you impress everybody when you pull it out, and you threaten that you might read it. There is some recognition that needs to be made to my wife of a long time. And the mother of my 3 sons, a long time. And there's one other individual who's not here with us today that I owe a great deed of thanks. I was pushing ice cream cups and soda pops when I finished college. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. I surely did not want to be an accountant. And I didn't want to have to, pardon me, have to wear laced shoes and the same colored suit. And I had taken one course during my undergraduate program, and it was from Paul Scalzo. Now, Paul was he was a pretty smart guy, because in those days, some of you will remember, we didn't have freedom to advertise anything. We had stones on our head. We couldn't do that. It was against the code of professional conduct to ever try to do that. But Paul had figured out that if he had taught in an undergraduate program law, that he could increase his revenue by these people who not know anybody but Paul. So that was pretty smart. I wish I had given some thought to that. But anyways, I owe him a great deed of thanks, because he came to me one time and said, "Les, what are you going to do?" And I said, "I don't know. I don't want to do what I just told you." And that was my options, to become a certified public accountant. And I just didn't want to do it. And he said, "Have you ever thought about law school?" No, I had never thought about law school. I mean, on the other side of the tracks, he said, "Why don't you put an application in, and I'll go to the dean and others, and I'll try to help you a little bit." So I owe him a great deed of thanks, because as I look upon it, he probably did the greatest thing that I ever had done to me, besides the blessings that I have received over the 50 years. And we all must admit, one thing that you have to do to be able to stand here and get this recognition is to live that long. I got 50s and got 25s, but I really don't think they have too many 75s. But I hope to be around, and I've taken enough time, and I want to thank you all.
The next recipient is Mr. Samuel Thomas Overstreet. Born in McClellan, Arkansas, his undergraduate was at the University of New Mexico, in the class of 1960. Law School, University of Missouri, class of 1964. His first job after law graduation was in Roswell, New Mexico, and he was cleaning up. I'll never really understand why you moved to Alamogordo. He was making $250 a month. In Roswell, he worked for the Attorney General. He moved to Alamogordo in 1967, more or less. He has practiced law at his own law office from the late 1960s to the present day. I had the privilege of witnessing him receive the Justice Pamela B. Minster Professionalism Award at the State Bar Convention, the last one. And I'll tell you what moved me the most was the fact that the chief judge of your district was taking so many pictures of you. So it's obvious the respect you have in your district. He also won the Best Litigated Case Award in 2014. That case was, I guess it rivals Mark a little bit, right? Because it was Wyatt Earp versus State. Tom?
Yeah, thank you very much. It shows you if you live long enough, you might get an honor occasionally. 50 years ago, when I first started practicing law, a client would come in, say, this is a fairly complex case. You don't look like you have a lot of experience. Do you have any backup? Fast forward 50 years, client comes in. This is a fairly complex case. May take 2 or 3 years. You look like you're about ready to retire. Do you have any backup? And, 25 years, 50 years, most lawyers retire by then. And I've heard a lot of lawyers say, well, I'm going to retire as soon as that big verdict comes in. I'll get that. More frequently, I hear lawyers say, as soon as I collect on that big judgment I got 4 years ago, I'm going to retire. And of course, when you max out, you're fully vested on all your retirement plans, then you start thinking about it. And there are those that echo Travis Tritt on the retirement trail, the whiskey ain't working no more. For me, what's going to trigger my retirement is when I get up in the morning, and the worst thing I can think of is going to the office. And that's when I call the transition team. It's not fun anymore. And I still enjoy doing it. And I don't think I'll ever not enjoy, as a criminal defense lawyer, hearing the fourth person of the jury come back and pronounce the 2 sweetest words in the English language. I'm sure there's prosecutors out there who would remind me what Thomas Jefferson is quoted as saying, never use 2 words when one will suffice. And I also really enjoy going to the annual State Bar Convention. They have great speakers, they have good CLE, and I'm still debating what the better entertainment is. Dancing to the music of Justice Daniels and his very talented band, or playing in a golf tournament with Dennis Johnson and seeing unbelievable trick shots with his 3-metal wood. Anyway, thank you very much for this honor. Hope to see you at Buffalo Thunder.
Next, we would like to acknowledge Peter Schoenfeld. Education, a BA, University of New Mexico in Latin American Studies in 1963. Got his Juris Doctorate from the South Texas College of Law, Houston, 1966. His profession includes being admitted to the United States Supreme Court in November 1986. He was a law clerk for the Chief Justice of the New Mexico Supreme Court in 1966 and 1967. He served as Special Assistant Attorney General for State Engineer S.E. Reynolds in the Interstate Stream Commission in 1967 and 1969. He has been an adjunct instructor of advocacy for the University of New Mexico School of Law. He's been in the private practice since 1969. He was the first or second New Mexico Board Certified Specialist in water law. He practices in water law, real estate, commercial, civil rights, and employment law, and administrative law. His clientele has included the large New York Stock Exchange corporations, small mom-and-pop businesses, farming operations, professional entities, contractors in construction, contract and licensing matters, artists, dealers, and collectors, various municipalities, public irrigation entities, well-rounded attorney. His publications include the translation of the Mariano Galvan Ordenanzas de Tierras y Aguas, land and water ordinances, out of Mexico City, 1844. He's a co-author of Water Reuse, Water Quality, and Water Rights Considerations, Efficient Water Use, the UNESCO Regional Office for Science and Technology for Latin America and the Caribbean, ROSTLAC Montevideo, Uruguay, 1994. Mr. Schoenfeld, you make New Mexico proud.
I don't have much to say except that I'm really proud to be and have been really proud to be a part of the bar for as long as I have. I used to think guys that had 50 years under their belts were really old. But, you know, my perceptions change. In addition to all the appellate opinions on which my name appears as counsel, my principal legacy, I think, to my fellow lawyers and the lawyers to follow me is that I was the first lawyer in Santa Fe, and I initiated the practice of law without a tie, and maintain that to this day. The last piece of wisdom I would like to help you with is something I've told to several people in the room, which is the two principal ingredients of a successful law office are a bottle of whiskey in the drawer and a back door.
So congratulations to those who were able to join with us. Others could not travel today to be with us, but I wanted to mention their names. They also are celebrating their 50th anniversary. Frank Kenneth Bateman Jr., Tom Bonham, Jay Farrow, Elizabeth Fisher, Bernie Paul Metzger, Robert, I know him as Bob Sabin, and David R. Williams. So with that, let's once again congratulate them.
Thank you, Justice Chavez. And what we'd like to do now is do the honor the people who've been in the bar for 25 years. They're halfway to getting up here. And so we'll do that down on the floor and take some pictures. Our first person that we would like to recognize is Larry Bishop. Larry, are you here? All right. Great. Here you go, Larry.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate that.
Take a picture. Next, we have Mary Louise Bolick. Here you go. Congratulations. Next, we have Cynthia Ann Braun. Here you go. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Dana L. Cox. Congratulations. Miss Alma Rosa Delgado. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And next we have the Honorable Carl Gilson. Congratulations. Miss Julie Taylor Gilmore. Congratulations. Mr. Michael Hacker. Very good. Thank you. Congratulations. All right. Lisa Jenkins. Congratulations. Here you go. All right. David Jordan. Here you go, sir. Congratulations. Thank you. Jeffrey C. Lahan. Congratulations. Thanks. Daniel Lewis. Congratulations. There you go. David Mario Lopez. There you go. Congratulations. Miss Molly McIntosh. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Philip Sapien. Congratulations, buddy. Absolutely. Brian Shoemaker. Congratulations. Thank you. Bill Solis. Congratulations. Gregory Steinman. There you go. Congratulations. Senator Lisa Tarraco. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks.
Karen Weaver. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Patrick Westerfield. There you go, sir. Thank you. Congratulations. All right. So that's everybody that we had on the list, but we're not sure that we got everybody. Is there anybody else here who's a 25-year participant in the bar? Just want to make sure we got everybody. People sneak in different ways. Okay. Well, I really appreciate everyone coming for this celebration. We have some refreshments and other things out in the opening area, so please stick around. We really appreciate everyone coming, and with that, we'll bring this to a close. Thank you so much for coming.